Hi, I'm Jonathan Knight, and this is B-Movie Madness. I'm filming in a different location because where I'm at right now, it's much easier to film right here instead of my room like I usually do. But this is my Blu-ray, DVD, and VHS update for August 8th, 2015. So I got a lot to show. So like I said, I'm Jonathan Knight, and this is B-Movie Madness. Yeah. Welcome back. First I'm going to go through, everything's like right over here, you can't see it, but it's right over here. I'm going to go through my Blu-rays and the DVDs and the VHS tapes, because the VHS tapes, I think they're the least, smallest pile, or the smallest pile I have. But the first Blu-ray I have is, the infamous, is it infamous? I remember this being like the first of these kind of movies that I saw, this is before Sharknado and all that, and that was Mega Octopus versus Giant... Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus. This I remember. Yeah, this was Asylum spending the company that makes the Sharknado movies and this and all that. It's Asylum. They're the ones that make all those rip-off movies. They've been in the work for like a long time, or they've been in the business for a long time. But this is the first movie I ever watched by them, and I saw this back in 2009, and I just rewatched it a couple days ago on Blu-ray, and it is what it is. I think it's entertaining. Now, would it have been better with practical effects? Oh, definitely. The CGI in these movies are usually really awful. But there is some kind of like B-movie charm with some of these. But again, I can't recommend these kind of movies to anybody unless you're really into Sci-Fi Channel movies. And this used to air all the time on Sci-Fi, and they don't air it as much anymore. So, the next one is Striptease. Yes, Striptease. You know why I bought this. I actually haven't seen this movie probably in forever, and I forgot how funny it is. It's pretty funny. Demi Moore is just stunning in this, and Ving Rhames and Burt Reynolds are both hilarious. So I got this at FYE today. It's pretty good transfer too. This one I have not watched yet, and it's the Screen Factory release of Wormwood, Road of the Dead, and it's an Australian zombie movie which is described as Mad Max meets Dawn of the Dead. And I've heard nothing but praise for this one, and I really need to watch it soon. I did watch a few minutes of it, but I wasn't in the mood because I was doing something else. But what I saw of it looked great, and it looks pretty cool. So I'm hoping they're pretty decent. The other one I got today at FYE was Spawn, which I talked about on my Facebook. This is a really weird movie for me because when it came out, I was obsessed with it. I had the movie magazines and everything. And actually, unlike a lot of comic book movies, I actually was really into reading the comic book of this. And I loved the movie when it came out. But when I got a little older, I was disappointed that they didn't go hard R with this because the comics are really violent. And the HBO show was incredibly violent too. In this movie, it feels kind of tame. I mean, this is the director's cut, but you can tell that they filmed it with the PG-13 in mind, and then they trimmed it down to the theatrical cut, which is far tamer than this one. But as much as I love this movie, and I rewatched it, and it really is a great is a really fun like 90s like summer movie. I really hope they get a reboot together in the future. I think Todd McFarlane's been talking about doing a reboot for like ages now. I really hope he does, and I have a feeling if they do, it will be more like the comic and the HBO show. Here's another Asylum movie, but this one I got because I watched the trailer for it on I think one of the Asylum DVDs, and I was like, hey, that looks actually kind of entertaining. It was Android Cop and Go Hastings sent me this jacked up cover, which I don't like. Basically, Android Cop came out last year, and it was basically them trying to rip off the RoboCop remake. The thing is, this has nothing really to do with RoboCop, except for it does have like an Android Cop in the movie. But because when I popped in, I was expecting like a RoboCop ripoff, and it's not that at all. Actually, it's actually, to my surprise, this was actually pretty entertaining. The trailer looked great, but then I was like, oh man, the movie's probably gonna be disappointing. But it was actually pretty entertaining. Michael Jai White, who was he was Spawn. He was also in The Dark Knight. You know who he was in The Dark Knight because he had probably one of the most popular scenes in that movie. One of them. He's really good in this. Whoever plays the android cop, Randy Wayne, he was pretty good. The CGI, although I'm not going to call it good, is actually better than most of the silent movies. It's certainly better than the Sharknado movies. And there's actually a few twists and turns at the end of the movie that took me by surprise. I mean, I was surprised how much I enjoyed this movie, and I would recommend this movie if you're really into like direct-to-video action movies. I think this is pretty entertaining, surprisingly. Here's one that I got simply because I love Scream Factory. I really do. I love supporting them. I think they do great work, and they've been released a shit ton of movies that I've loved. This movie it was one of their newer ones, well, a new release. But I picked it up just simply because I wanted to help support them, and that's Toolbox Murders 2. If you look up reviews for this movie, everybody hates it. And supposedly there was a cut of this called Coffin Baby that was leaked online a few years ago, which is like a completely different, alternate cut of the movie. It has different sequences, scenes, it has a extended ending and different characters and everything. I have no idea. I have not seen that cut. I did watch this. And I went in with low expectations because everybody, all the reviews for it were saying how shitty it was. I'm not gonna say it was a good movie. I wasn't a huge fan of the Tobe Hooper movie, which is a sequel to. I liked aspects of the movie. The thing I liked the most was the killer. I thought he was great. And thankfully, the same actor plays the killer in this one. And the plot of this movie is basically the sister of one of the victims in the first movie is kidnapped by the Toolbox Murderer. And he tortures her for 90 minutes while she sees visions of previous victims that he's tortured and killed throughout the play. And while he's feeding her human flesh, he's basically trying to make her to his pet. And there's not much plot in the movie. I think that's one of the criticisms I read about it. It has really no plot to it. And it does have more plot to it than they let on. I wouldn't exactly call it, the greatest plot in the world. But for what it was, I thought it was actually pretty entertaining. The thing I liked most about the movie, and it's one reason I actually wanted to watch it, is the gore is fantastic. The special effects are all practical. And that's not surprising because the director is Dean C. Jones, which I believe he's a special effects guy. And this is the first movie he's directed. And it doesn't surprise me that the special effects are top notch. The movie has some really gruesome deaths. My dog's over there. Has a lot of gruesome kills, and there's a lot of body parts hanging everywhere. It's hard to recommend this one because everybody hates it, but man, I just like odd movies, and it's an odd one. But the gore is really great. If you're really just in it for the gore, watch that movie. Here's the third film in the Mega Shark series. Should have put these together better. That's Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark, which you're dumb not to know that it's just a riff on Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla. And this is basically they build a Mecha Shark to fight the Mega Shark. And even though I liked the first one, but I don't love it, I actually really like this one. The CGI is what it is. It's shit. But there's a lot of... Oh, calm down. This was actually pretty entertaining. It's hard to recommend these movies because people know what they are. If you know Asylum, you know what they do. I wouldn't say I enjoyed this as much as... What the hell's wrong with me? I didn't like it as much as Android Cop over there. But I actually really enjoyed it. This one, for some reason, I never saw this as a kid on VHS. And I think that video store did have it, and I probably wasn't interested because it was a Western. It was a Western, and I really didn't like Westerns as a kid. I didn't really start appreciating them until I was a little older. And that was Ghost Town from Charlie Band. And when I heard that they were putting this out, I was like, something, I'm going to have to watch this movie. Then I started talking to some friends on message board that saying they never saw it before, and they bought the Blu-ray and said, hey man, this is actually a pretty entertaining little movie. And you know what? It is pretty damn entertaining. It's really just a simple like story about a girl who's kidnapped by some evil ghost from an old ghost town, and because she looks like a singer that used to sing in the bars in the Old West, and the sheriff is sent to recover her. And it's a really simple storyline. It's like only about 84 minutes, so it's really short. But that's why it's perfect. It's just simple, quick entertainment. And the makeup effects are fantastic. There's some animatronic work early on that's actually really, really, really cool. And the cast is actually really good. It's just a simple, fun movie. It's the reason I love the old Charlie Band movies from back in the 80s and 90s is because it was just simple entertainment. They were just quick 85, 90-minute movies that you popped in and entertain you. And that's exactly what this is. And I'm kind of ashamed of myself I didn't watch it before. I'm glad I got to see it. The transfer on this is really good. Disappointing is there's absolutely no extras, and I really don't know why Screen Factory didn't put this in a double feature with other movies, because that's what they did a lot with a lot of the other ones they didn't have extras for. They just put them in with bundle with another movie. Speaking of double features from Screen Factory, The Outing and the I'm having the burps today. The Outing and the Godsend. Now, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of the Godsend. I saw it before Screen Factory released these movies previously, and one of those like DVD sets had like 4 movies in it. It was with this, The Outing, Godsend, The Vagrant, and the original set had the American cut of The Lizard in a Woman's Skin from Fulci, and I think they changed it to something else, I can't remember. The reason I wanted to get this, even though I wasn't huge on the Godsend, although I'm going to have to rewatch it because I always do. If I don't like a movie, I always give it one more shot. But with the reason I bought it was The Outing. The Outing is absolutely fantastic. It is a great, I would say, late 80s slasher movie about basically a killer genie, but it's nothing like Wishmaster at all. And the transfer on this actually looked pretty decent. It wasn't great, but it's certainly better than the DVD version, which was full frame, and I think it was from a Video Master, so it was not great. The great thing about this is it has an extended opening where you see the history of the lamp before the movie starts. That was cut from the American cut of the movie, and this has been added back to this one. And it's a great little opening. It's like 2 minutes long. It's really cool. It really helps set up things before the movie actually starts. Like I said, it's a great movie. There's some great kills in it. And the killer genie, which you don't really see until the end of the movie, looks awesome. This cover art kind of sucks though. What the hell is that about? But I highly recommend picking this up. And, just ignore the DVD version and just get this one. Godsend, I nearly need to rewatch. All I remember about it is a lot of kids get killed in it, which right there, that's kind of okay with me. Okay, this one is from Mill Creek, and it is the double feature of Mr. Sardonicus and the Brotherhood of Satan. One thing is, I wasn't expecting much from the Mill Creek Blu-rays I bought so far. I wasn't really expecting much in terms of quality with them, but I gotta be honest, every single one I bought from them, the picture quality's actually been pretty good. Really, really, really good. For such like a bargain bin company, that they actually try to give a good transfer, or try to do a good transfer on a movie. I was really surprised with these two. Mr. Sardonicus is from William Castle. Mr. William Castle. He's the guy who loved doing gimmicks in his movies, and I love that. And this one I've never seen before. It's a black and white, and the HD transfer on this looks so good. The black and white photography is so crisp, and it's actually a pretty good movie. I don't want to spoil it for you if you've never seen it before. It has a really awesome gimmick at the end. Brotherhood Satan was one I was surprised with too. I never seen it. It was 1971. Filmed in widescreen scope, so it's 235. And I like old movies that are in 235 because I just love that photography so much. And the Blu-ray transfer on this is so good. And that one, it kind of reminds me of The Devil's Reign. Because it's another satanic movie. I don't think it's as good as The Devil's Reign. I think The Devil's Reign is the better movie, but it's in the same kind of movie, same kind of 1970s satanic movie. I actually highly recommend it. You can get this super cheap. I got it for like under $5, I think it is. Now, This one does not come out until the 25th. August 25th, and I ordered it from Shout's website, Scream Factory's website, because you can get them 2 weeks early. I actually got this before the 2 weeks, and that's am I gonna butcher the name of this movie? I talked about this in the last one, I think. Metamorphosis. Did I say right? Metamorphosis and Beyond Darkness, which if you watch my Ghost House review, is Ghost House 3. Witchery being Ghost House 2, and this being Ghost House 3. And the reason why I ordered this on their website, because their stuff is actually more money than Amazon or deep discount or anything, is I really wanted this early. I haven't watched it yet because I've been busy all day, so I haven't watched this yet, but I'm saving this for tomorrow night, and I'm really looking forward to these movies. I love Italian horror movies, especially the really cheesy ones, because, gosh darn it, they tried. They failed, but they tried. And Beyond Darkness is directed by Claudio Fragasso, who directed Troll 2, and he even says this tale of terror comes from Claudio Fragasso, the director of Troll 2, and it says in little letters, so you know it's good. I can't wait to watch these. Oh, Metamorphosis, that's it again, is directed by George Eastman, which you should know George Eastman. He's been in a million Italian horror films, and he's really famous for that one, which I'm not going to try and pronounce the name of it, Anthropagis. I can't pronounce it. There's a reason why they retitled it for America to the Grim Reaper. Now this one is the Anchor Bay Shark 4 movie collection Blu-ray set, which is Sharktopus, Dino Shark, Jersey Shore, Shark Attack, and Bait. I've seen Sharktopus and Bait, and I enjoyed both of those. I really like Bait. A lot of people didn't like it, but I'm a sucker for a shark movie. But I've never seen Dino Shark and Jersey Shore Shark Attack. I haven't seen either of those, so I'm looking forward to watching those. And I come in for this. Sharktopus is going to be fun, in my opinion. It's from the director, I think, the Wrong Turn sequels. I think he did most of the Wrong Turn sequels. My last Blu-ray is a movie that I think you can only get. I got this on eBay. It's only in Region B, which is Region 2. Basically, you have to have a region-free Blu-ray player to play it, and that's Rutger Hauer and Split Second, which is basically Rutger Hauer as a cop fighting an alien. And it's directed by Tony Maylam, which directed The Burning. And I remember hearing about this. I'm like, I have to see this movie. And I heard that it was coming out in Blu-ray in the UK. And I looked on eBay and got it for under $20. And it came very quickly, too. So I'm really looking forward to watching this because I've never seen it before, but it has to be awesome. It has Rutger Hauer. It has an evil alien from the director of The Burning. It's got to be awesome. It better be awesome. God, please make this movie awesome. Okay, that's all for my Blu-rays. DVDs I'll go through quickly. I got Suburban Commando, a movie I loved as a kid. I love Hulk Hogan as a kid. I still love him as a wrestler, even though, all the shit he's doing, or all the shit with him these days. But I still love him as a wrestler, and I love Suburban Commando, and I love Mr. Nanny, whatever. They're all fun in my opinion. Batman, the 60s series, Season 2, Part 2, which is, they released these all together last November, but they were too much money for me, so I've been buying these individually. I got this for less than $20 actually, and I just finished the Part 1 of Season 2, because Season 2 is 60 episodes, which is a lot for a TV show. And I love Season 2, the first part of it. There were some weak episodes, like the Liberace episode was really, really weak. But this looks awesome. They team up with the Green Hornet and Kato, Bruce Lee. And they got John Astin as the Riddler for like 2 episodes. He's the only, Frank Gorshin is the Riddler. But they actually had him come as the Riddler, which I can't wait to watch. There's more Mr. Freeze, which I love Mr. Freeze. And more Julie Newmar as Catwoman, who was, she's stunning. It's just a shame they had to replace her for Season 3 because, oh God. Can't wait to get into these. Future Justice, which is an independent sci-fi action movie from Richard Griffin. If you know Richard Griffin, because he did Sins of Dracula, which I reviewed. And he's probably my favorite indie director working these days. His films are made for a very low budget, but there's a lot of passion and energy in them. This movie's no different. The only thing that disappointed with me is there's a lot of CGI bullet hits, and I really, really, really hate CGI bullet hits because it's simple. Hell, just take an egg, drain the egg or the yolk out of it, put fake blood in it, and throw it on somebody. There you go. There's a bullet hit. You really don't need CGI, but again, I'm not an indie filmmaker, so I don't know what constraints he had on this movie, but other than that, this movie's actually pretty entertaining. I wouldn't say it's my favorite film by him. I think Sins of Dracula is much better. I think Murder University is much better. Disco Exorcist is much better. But I would say I enjoyed it more than Frankenstein's Hungry Dead, which I liked, but had a really weak finale. This one I just really enjoyed. It's nice and short, 82 minutes. I do recommend this one. If you've seen his other movies, you know what to expect. He uses a lot of the same cast members, which is pretty cool. Even though this is like in a Blu-ray case, this is a DVD of Rob Zombie's concert movie, which is the Zombie Horror Picture Show. I have not watched this yet, but I've seen clips of it on YouTube, and I'm a huge Rob Zombie fan. I like his movies, I love his music, so look forward to actually watching this. Believe it or not, my mom's a bigger fan of Rob Zombie than I am, which is really weird, but she really loves him. The Creature 4-pack. This is all Asylum movies. Mega Shark vs. Crocosaurus, which is actually the first sequel, The Giant Octopus. The Seven Adventures of Sinbad, 2010 Moby Dick, and Snakes on a Train. I watched all of them, but the Crocosaurus one, Sinbad was alright. Moby Dick was fun. Snakes on a Train, I was expecting a complete rip-off of Snakes on a Plane, but it actually went in a different direction than I was expecting, which was kind of cool. And I was surprised at first there was no really shitty CGI in it. But the Asylum proved me wrong in that ending. They sure did. But most of the movie's actually pretty gory and pretty cool. Different. I can't really recommend it though, because the ending goes right off the rails. Literally, the train and the movie go right off the rails. Lake Placid versus Anaconda. I'm gonna be honest, I picked it up because Robert Englund was in it, and he's okay in it, and he's good, but his character don't have much to do. But actually, this movie's actually oddly pretty entertaining, mainly because it has a great sense of humor to it, and there was some fun sequences. CGI is what it is. It's crappy, but it's actually not as bad as I was expecting. Pretty Cool 2, which is independent sex comedy, it is a sequel to a movie called Pretty Cool. It's basically in the tradition of the Scott Baio sex comedy, listening like crazy today, Zapped, about a kid who basically has a cell phone that, can make women or anybody in general do whatever he wants. It's actually a lot of fun. It's from the director of There's Nothing Out There, which is one of my favorite independent horror movies. This is actually really fun. It's much better than the first movie, which I barely remember. I just remembered it being okay. Best worst movie. It's a documentary. It's a documentary about the making of Troll 2. I've probably seen this like 10 times so far. I really enjoy it. I've been a Troll 2 fan since I was a kid. I liked Troll 2 before it was cool. Everyone's like, Troll 2, meh. I liked it as a kid. I used to watch it on HBO all the time, and when I got older, I bought it from a video store, and I watched it all the time. And then when the DVD came out with Troll 1, I watched both of them over and over again. And then I found out that Troll 2, out of nowhere, just became really popular. I was like, that's really weird. But that's really cool at the same time. I'm glad it's really popular, because it is a lot of fun. It's one of the worst movies ever made, but it's so funny and batshit crazy. And this documentary is just really funny. There's a lot of great stories. There's a lot of great characters who happen to be real people. I highly recommend, if you have not seen it, watch Troll 2 first, then watch Best Worst Movie, and then you'll be like, oh, okay. Three-Headed Shark Attack, another Asylum movie. This one's actually directed. I think he directed maybe a few of the other Asylum movies. Fred Olen Ray's son, Christopher, who I didn't know was directing movies. I didn't even know he had a son, to be honest. And this is actually not bad. The CGI is what it is again. I think the shark is actually kind of cool, though. Danny Trejo's in it, and, he gets to use a machete, so there's that. This actually wasn't that bad. I thought it was more entertaining than Lake Placid vs. Anaconda. This movie I've not watched yet, Top Secret. I'm a huge fan of Airplane, and I love Val Kilmer. But I just haven't seen this movie, so I said I should watch it. And I will do that. Battle Girl, The Living Dead of Tokyo Bay, which is a 1992 low-budget Japanese zombie movie. I've never seen this, never even heard of it. It was really cheap, and I said, why not? I'll give it a shot. This movie right here is extremely popular, but I really didn't like it the first time I watched it. I was surprised I didn't like it because it's up my alley. But, like I said, I always give a movie another chance, and I have a feeling I like this a lot more. And that's Thriller. They call her One Eye, and this is the non-porn edition. I think the non-porn edition is red. I thankfully didn't see that the first time because I would have been really thrown off seeing all that hardcore action right away. But I just really didn't care for this the first time I watched it. I remember being really pissed off that I didn't enjoy it. Really, really pissed off because it's up my alley. It's my kind of movie, but I just didn't care for it the first time. But I'm going to give this another shot. Quentin Tarantino, I'm a big fan of it. The dude likes my kind of movies, so it's cool. The last DVD I have. The rest are going to be VHS. These are going to be quick. Godzilla. Let me do the Godzillas. Son of Godzilla and Godzilla 1985. I got these mainly because I no longer have my Godzilla VHS, and I want to get all these because if you can see right here, if you put them together, they make like an image of Godzilla. So I need to get the rest of these. Godzilla 85, of course, is the American cut. Son of Godzilla. So I really enjoy these two. Godzilla 1985 is still not available in the United States on DVD or Blu-ray. Isn't that funny? It's the only Godzilla movie and any cut that's not available in the United States on DVD or Blu-ray. Of course, people would argue, well, King Kong vs. Godzilla. Yes, the Japanese cut is not on DVD or Blu-ray, but at least the one cut is on DVD and Blu-ray. I really wish they would release the this one, 85, right? No, 85. I wish really because that's actually a really underrated Godzilla movie because it's the only one of two Godzilla movies, Japanese ones, that don't have him fighting another monster. And it's actually really well done. The special effects are top notch. It was a great return of Godzilla for the time because I think it was like 9 years maybe since he last seen. I think, and this is the second to last Japanese Godzilla movie that was released in theaters in the United States. You know, the other one being Godzilla 2000. We didn't really get, and that was cut down too. This is Brain Scan, which I love this movie, but for some reason I have never owned it in any format. I just watched it on cable a lot, so I decided to buy it finally because it's a really entertaining movie, in my opinion. This one right here, I love this movie, and I was about to buy the DVD of it, but it was a little bit too much money. I think it's out of print. So I'm waiting for the Blu-ray to come out of it. But till now, if I need to watch it, I'll watch it. Ring Crazy Summers. I'm the director of Better Off Dead, and this movie is hilarious. Love this movie, especially the Godzilla scene. Oh my god, it's so funny. So funny. I love this movie. I picked this up. I've never seen it. Is it? Oh, that's pretty cool. I love collecting Canon movies, the Canon Group movies from them, and I love collecting media tapes, the VHS company Media. So I've had to pick up 52 pickup from John Frankenheimer. This has been several times that I almost picked up the DVD and the Blu-ray because when they just released it on Blu-ray, and I just never did. So because I didn't know if I would like it or not. It's canon, but it doesn't mean I'm necessarily gonna like it. Superman 4. And I thought Street Smart with Christopher Reeve was really boring. But I need to watch this so I can eventually get the Blu-ray. But it looks entertaining. It looks like a good crime thriller. Roy Scheider and Market, good cast. The last one I got basically because she's like, if you get 6 of them, you get a deal. So I said, fine. And this movie, I looked at it, and I looked at the running time, which was about 52 minutes, and I was like, this looks like something that they would review on Red Letter Media's Wheel the Worst. You know how they always review those movies that are like under an hour. They're like really weird out there shit. And it's called Armor of Light. Our Commander and Kelly and the Super Kids Armor of Light. And it looks fucking shitty as all hell. It looks like hell. And I looked and it says right on here, it is only 53 minutes. And it looks like shit. You know, I might watch it and see what it's like, and then I might send it to Red Letter Media so they can put it on their wheel, because this looks like something that they would this looks like something they would watch. It looks like some kind of retarded Power Ranger-esque like shit fest. It just looks like hell. Oh my god. And it stars Kelly and Kenneth Copeland, so it's a couple. that made this and produced it. Did they direct the movie? Who directed it? Stephen Yack. No, it wasn't them. So they produced and starred in this movie. So this was some kind of vanity project for the people involved. I hope it shit so I can send it to them and they have to watch it. I might send it to them. I mean, it was part of the deal. I looked at it and I said, Red Letter Media. But that's all I have. I do have a couple things on pre-order, or I shouldn't say pre-order, back order from Diabolic DVD. But the guy's on vacation. Slash, he hasn't got the disc in yet. And the one thing I have that I can't wait to get is the Blu-ray Steelbook of Reanimator and Bride of Reanimator. And I can't wait for Bride of Reanimator. Not because I think it's a scary movie to Reanimator, because Reanimator is fucking awesome. It's because the transfer on the previous DVD of Bride was shit. It was muddy shit, and I really think it's an underrated movie. I think it's not as good as Reanimator, but for a sequel that wasn't directed by Stuart Gordon, I thought it was pretty solid. And special effects work is top notch. I think Can Be, Screaming Mad George, John Carl Beekler worked on it. A whole bunch of people worked on it. I actually kind of like Beyond Reanimator, even though I think it's definitely the weakest of the bunch, especially because they filmed it in Spain, and it's obvious a lot of the extras and characters were dubbed over because they didn't speak English. But I don't think it's that bad. I think there's some good special effects work in that one too. But that's all I have. When I get the Bride of Reanimator, or when I get the Blu-ray Steelbook, I'm going to actually review that. And I really plan on doing it. I really want to review this double feature. I want to review both of them because I've never seen both of them before. And I really don't hear much about these two, especially Beyond Darkness. And what's funny about Beyond Darkness, before I end this, is it has the kid from Troll 2 in it. And IMDb lists this before Troll 2, but they both came out in 1990, so I'm kind of curious which one was filmed first. Because he never mentions it in the Best Worst Movie documentary that he made another movie with Claudio Fragasso, so I'm really curious about this one. Really curious about it. Not this one right here. I'm really curious about this one too because George Eastman directed it. So, but that's all I had. All I have. Believe it, this video is probably like 5 hours long. But I really thank you for going with it, being cool and all that. And I'm house sitting right now, so I'm gonna end this. Have my dog say hello. Hello. Say hi, Huey. And he's very camera shy. Aw. You good boy. So, up close. So I'm Jonathan Knight. This has been B Movie Nance. Thanks for watching.